I spent a lot of this book wondering what people were going to make of it, because I thought I knew this story until I tried to write it down, and the cliche that it is, but the act of writing it was really an act of trying to understand what happened over the last few years for me. And because of that, I think it's much harder to say, oh, I hope readers take this, this and this away from it. There's a few things I think are worth taking away. Is I feel like throughout all of this, a saving grace has been sort of a sense of curiosity about my own world, about the world that my daughter was starting to explore, and I think it's been really wonderful to see how much curiosity can get you through something where you don't necessarily have to understand what's happening to you to be able to navigate it. That's been a really the kind of thing you tell your kids, it's good to be curious about the world, and it's good to sort of be open-minded about things, and to live with not knowing what's going to happen. I think those are all really nice to see, that those sort of truisms are actually borne out, and that is quite a good way to live, to be sort of curious and willing to accept that you're not sure exactly what trajectory you are on. That's been really good. But also, I think the thing I was really surprised about is I think stupidly, I don't know why I thought this, but I did think that the early days of a relationship with your child, it's very much you teaching your child about the world and them just kind of soaking it all up, and hopefully you're teaching them in a good way rather than a terrible way. But I really thought the relationship went that way. But actually when I read back through the book, it's been completely the opposite way. Is that there's something about children which is really oddly wise, and I think I couldn't have chosen a better person to, selfishly, I'm sure she would feel differently about this, but I couldn't have chosen a better person to have with me while I was going on this sort of journey, because I've just learned so much from seeing the way she copes with things, and the way, at the same time as I was starting to worry about the state of my own brain, hers was just coming alive, and it was this incredible upward trajectory. It was just so beautiful to see and inspiring to see, and that sort of generosity of experience that I found in Leon was really helpful. Based on the kind of books I've read and the sort of films I've seen over the years, I do think we have this narrative that disease, an incurable disease, is sort of a narrowing of life and a narrowing of experience. And actually what I've found out along the way, it's still very early on in MS, and I would say I'm also far from an expert in it. I don't pretend to understand this disease that I have. I'm still in sort of the arrivist state of it. But it's been fascinating how it hasn't been a narrowing of experience at all. It's actually been a completely a panoramic, sort of expansive experience. I feel like the world is so much more vivid and sort of present now. I feel so much more part of the world now. And actually, part of that is parenthood, but also part of it is just my old complacency about life being is suddenly absent. I feel like I'm much more in the moment all the time. And actually, disease is awful, and I hate having MS, and I'm not pleased about it at all. But it has shaken me out of my own complacency a little bit, and that is a brilliant place to be in that respect.